Hey everyone, Andrew here. I wanted to share a quick idea or strategy that might help you when it comes to dealing with things that you might not enjoy doing during school. And the idea is called reframing. And reframing is a concept in psychology where basically you change the way you look at a specific task, a specific scenario, or a specific idea. And this is really beneficial because by doing so, you change the narrative around whatever you have to do, and that can have a big impact on how you do it and how you feel when you are doing it. So for example, I always hated the idea of studying because I felt it was a drag, I felt it was boring, and it was tedious, and it was monotonous. So it was something that when I had to go study, I immediately had a negative opinion about it. But when I reframed it to look at studying as preparation, my entire approach to it changed. By telling myself that I was preparing for the tests and assignments that were coming in the weeks and the months, I noticed that when I did sit down to read over my notes, I was a lot more focused, a lot more enthusiastic and motivated, and a lot more disciplined. Now, reframing seems like something very simple that you can do, and I will say that it won't have a huge impact when you first do it, but over time, as you reframe and relook at different tasks that you have to do during school, you're going to notice that it's going to have a much bigger impact. Ooh, there's a dog. It's an Australian Shepherd. Now, reframing can be a really good skill to develop no matter what scenario you're in during school. You can use reframing, like I mentioned in the example before, about studying and whether studying is something that's tedious and monotonous or whether it's something that prepares you for the tasks that are coming ahead. Reframing is also a really good way to connect whatever you're doing to something that you're more familiar with. I talked about this in my context video, but to use the same example of studying and preparation, as a martial artist and former athlete, preparation was very important for me. And I never hated preparing for gradings or competitions. It was tedious sometimes, it was brutal, but I always looked forward to my practice sessions because they were preparing me for something big. And by reframing studying as preparation, I tapped into something I was already familiar with and that I had a positive association with. So reframing can really help with that. Reframing is also used a lot in therapy and can be a huge benefit for your mental health as well. You might change how you look at a setback. Instead of it being a failure on your part, it's just an obstacle for you to overcome. Or it might be a lesson for you to learn. For example, as a former tour guide, if I gave a bad tour, I might think to myself that I was a failure and I was a screw up and I'm not a good tour guide. Or I could reframe that experience to say it was a bad tour, that happens, what can I learn to make sure I don't do it another time? So that's kind of the idea. Reframing can be a huge help for you when it comes to setting the context for the different tasks you have to do throughout your time during school. It can really help you reshape whatever you experience to be something more positive for you. So that was just a quick thought. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.